Hi, welcome to NYP Music Theory, Harmonic Vocabulary Grade 8, Episode 4. Today our focus is on how to identify modulation and tonicization. We'll look into these three terms: modulation, tonicization, and secondary dominant. What is modulation? Simply speaking, it is the change of key. If I have a G major, the notes include G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. But I can change it to D major with one note, one new note added. This is a C sharp in D major. So modulation means change of key and include one new note. But how to confirm a modulation? We need a new note, and this new note can be a sharp, which is usually the leading note of a new key, or in flat key, the sharper note will be a natural sign. Sometimes we will find the new note is a flattened note. It is usually the subdominant note of a new key. To confirm a modulation, we also need a 5/1 cadence. It is usually in root position, but sometimes it can be inverted cadence or sometimes imperfect cadence. So both are very important. A new note and a 5/1 cadence. But what is tonicization? Actually, it is also a change of key, but just temporary. What does it mean? Let's look at this example. If I have a G major as an original key, I can change it to D major with one new note, which is the C sharp, and form a 5/1 cadence. In D major, the 5/1 cadence is A major chord to D major chord. So up till here, we confirm the modulation. But if this modulation stays just for a while, after the 5/1 cadence, immediately go back to the original key. That means we check the melody or the harmony that there is no more C sharp. That means it will go back to G major. In this case, we call this kind of modulation is just temporary. And this word we use, tonicization, is to describe this temporary change of key. What is secondary dominant? It is an altered chord which functions as a dominant chord of another key. Look at C major. The supertonic chord is D, F, A. This is a minor chord, but we can alter the third. Raise a semitone, it becomes a D, F sharp, A, D major chord. So in Roman numeral, we write the 2 in uppercase. And this is an altered chord in C major. There is another way of writing this altered chord. We call it the secondary dominant, which is written as 5/5. We read it as 5 of 5. What does that mean? The first 5 chord is the altered chord, functions as a dominant chord of another key, that is G major. The next 5 is the original key dominant chord. So let's look at 5 of 5. This 5 chord is D, F sharp, A, and in G major, it is the dominant chord. Then we'll resolve to G major 1, or in the original key, it is the dominant chord G, B, D. So that's why it is the 5 of 5. We call it a secondary dominant. As we look at this G major 5/1, it is like a modulation. But if it stays for a while and then go back to the original key, then we call it tonicization. Now let's go to the stave. C major 1 chord goes to 2/7, but this 2/7 is altered because we insert an F sharp. This is D, F sharp, A, C. We can omit the 5th and resolve to 5. So this 2/7 is an altered chord. But just now we mentioned about the altered chord can be written as a secondary dominant. So this is a 5/7 chord in G major and then resolve to G major 1. But for original key, the C major, GBD is the 5 chord. So for secondary dominant, we will write in this way: 5/7 of 5 resolve to 5. It looks like from C major modulate to the dominant key. But if it is a tonicization, we will just use the description of this second line. 5/7 of 5 resolved to 5. Next, we will look at subdominant, that is 5/7 of 4. From C major 1, we change one note, go to B flat, which is a flattened leading note. Sometimes we call it a flattened 7th note. C, E, G, B flat. So it functions as a 5/7 of F major, and the F major chord is the subdominant chord in C major. So the first line is written as an altered chord 1 flat 7 resolved to 4. The second line, we use the secondary dominant 5/7 of 4 resolved to 4, or modulation F major 5/7 to 1. Now look at the example of 5/7 of 6, and it looks like modulation to the relative minor. That is by chromatic movement. The G sharp will resolve to A. So this chord becomes a E7 chord, E, G sharp, B, D, which is a 3/7 in C major, and it is an altered chord because of the G sharp. And it resolved to the 6th chord of C major, that is A, C, E, and A minor chord. If we describe it in tonicization, it is a 5/7 of 6 resolved to 6, or modulation from A minor 5/7 to 1. Similarly, we can alter the 6/7 and use it as a secondary dominant, 5/7 of 2. So look at this chord. We change the C to C sharp by chromatic movement and resolve upwards to D. So this is A, C sharp, E, G, an A7 chord, which is the 6/7 resolved to 2. Tonicization using secondary dominant 5/7 of 2 resolved to 2, or modulation from C major to D minor 5/7 to 1. And the last example is to go to the median minor. C major chord goes to a D7 chord. This is B, D sharp, F sharp, A. Why there are two sharps here? The new note is a D sharp. The F sharp is from the key signature of E minor. So this one, D sharp resolved to E, and we can resolve it to the 3 or the median chord of C major, E, G. We can omit the 5th here. So this is a 5/7 of 3 resolved to 3, or E minor 5/7 to 1. So after we have looked into this 5 example, we know why we have to write a related key chart from the very beginning. This is very helpful when we do 4-part harmony or melody writing, or even score reading for analysis. We can see C major can go to dominant, subdominant, the relative minor, the median minor, and the supertonic minor. So in this video, we have talked about modulation, tonicization, and the secondary dominant. Hope this will give you a clearer concept and examples. Thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful or interesting, please subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.